Joining us, I'm Alan Van Zandt. A soldier who died in the Pearl Harbor attack 80 years ago will have his remains taken back to Missouri for Memorial Day weekend. KQ2's Jackie Elson with more details now on how his remains were identified and what the family did to get him back to Mound City.
The body of a U.S. Navy soldier who died in the Pearl Harbor attack is finally coming home.
This is certainly the first and probably the only Pearl Harbor veteran we've ever handled in my lifetime here.
Seaman First Class Wilbur Francis Newton moved to Mound City as a child. In 1940, he joined the U.S. Navy in California and was assigned to the USS Oklahoma battleship. He died in the Pearl Harbor attack on December 7, 1941.
You think about the sacrifice they made for our country, for our freedoms, it's humbling.
But his body was never found after the attack. His family was sent a telegram saying Newton was missing after the attack. Then in February, his family was sent another letter explaining his body was still missing after the continued search.
We're dealing with second cousins, none of whom were ever met Mr. Newton, many of them who weren't even born when he died.
Before a relative's death in 2012, she submitted DNA samples to be used in the process of identifying the remains. Later in 2021, one of Newton's relatives was contacted, saying his remains were identified and how to make plans to receive them.
We were notified in March by the family of Wilbur Newton that his remains had been identified in Hawaii as a long process that the military had been working on, and that they had elected to bring his remains back home to Mound City, Missouri.
Newton's remains are going to be buried in a family plot at the Mount Hope Cemetery in Mound City, back home where he wanted to be after the war was over.
The Navy will be part of everything we do from the time he lands at the airport until the time his remains are buried in Mound City. There's officers flying in from Virginia. There'll be a full honor guard, pallbearers, gun salute, everything that you would have for a killed in action death, which that's what this is classified as, even though it happened 80 years ago. The Navy will be involved at every step of the way.
A memorial service will be on Saturday, May 28th at the United Methodist Church in Mound City, where he was baptized and attended with his family growing up. Then there will be a military ceremony afterwards at the cemetery. Reporting in Mound City, Jackie Elson, KQ2 News.
Anyone welcome to pay their respects on May 26th or 27th at the Pettijohn and Crawford Family Funeral Home in Mound City. The memorial service will start at 10 a.m. at the United Methodist Church and the military ceremony at Mount Hope Cemetery afterward. Both are in Mound City.